10,000 of us fall victim to this issue every year. Even Superman isn't immune. Let's dive into paralysis. Join us. So I'm Dan.
And I'm Nick, folks.
We're old friends dissecting one topic at a time. People, technology, media, we've got it all covered.
Each discussion here is a deep dive into our unique perspective. The taboo, forbidden subjects, they're all on the chopping block, baby. We don't pander to popular opinion. We might even get a little bit dirty.
Warning, this podcast may contain mature language and sexual content, and is for infotainment purposes only.
So join us. Have a good time.
Open up your ear holes, because we're going to fondle your follicles. All right, we're back.
Hey, we're back.
Yeah.
Here we are, folks.
We are doing our thing. I'm Dan.
We are live here at the house.
Yeah.
So today's episode it caught me off guard. It's on paralysis.
Yeah, paralysis.
The inability to overtalk a screaming baby. Is that paralysis?
Yeah. Oh, I'm paralyzed by fear that this episode will go terribly.
It might.
Oh, he's pissed.
That's a loud one there. Well, what a small child may or may not cry at is the fact that 10,000 Americans every year become paralyzed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pretty terrifying. What is paralysis by definition?
Loss of motor function?
Correct. Inability to escort themselves around in a day-to-day way. They need some kind of assistance, be it mobile, via some kind of electronic device, via, all those sorts of things.
Do you want to get down to the nitty-gritty? Or you want to start soft?
Oh, you want to do medical? Yeah, let's do dirty. Let's do medical. Let's do nasty.
You want to... Because there are lighter forms of paralysis that we could touch on.
Well, I had it as disability. Is anytime that your life is... you can't go about your everyday life because of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Disability can be something as simple as bad arthritis.
Yeah.
That's considered a disability. Back pain, like really bad back pain, you can't lift out your garbage.
Is this a paralysis? Soft paralysis?
No, disability.
Okay.
And the most severe form of a disability is either paralysis or like...
loss of limb.
Yeah, loss of limbs. Like there's all different kinds.
Is it the same?
Anyway, they're all in the same category. Disability. Mm-hmm. The most extreme being like paralysis and loss of limb and all these other things. The lighter end I was touching on is something like just arthritis, back pain.
Oh, just a light sickness, maybe an illness, a cough or a sneeze, scratchy throat.
No, it has to be so that you can't go about your day-to-day life, possibly not even work. Disability will affect 1 in 3 people in America by retirement age. So you will have something that affects your day-to-day life. Whether, like I said, it's that real bad arthritis, maybe you can't open cans and jars and go up and down the steps. You got to buy a rancher.
Huh. That's sad.
Isn't that wild?
That's terribly sad.
But you wanted to focus on the darker, harshest one.
Well,
paralysis.
There's lighter forms of paralysis. Like I wanted to buy a taser and then use it on the show right now, but it's costly. It's too expensive.
Would you let me do it?
If I had something soft to fall onto.
I meant get tased.
You would get tased? They say it's pretty painful, actually.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is.
Did you see that the video? There's a video of a guy. He gets away from a fat cop, and he's like, "Yo, what are you gonna do about it, copper? What are you gonna do about it?" And the cop pulls out the taser, and as he's running away, he's like shirtless and shoeless too. The cop gets him with the taser when he's like full speed. You hear like the splat against the cement, and it's like, ooh, he slid right across that cement, and you felt like, oh man, he glitted it.
Mm-hmm. Sounds painful.
So
I do not want to be tased technically. Well, I would for the podcast probably.
So what is a taser? Do you know?
Is it an acronym?
It actually is an acronym.
It's so weird. It felt like an acronym because laser is, I guess, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't know. Takedown, assault, no. Semi-energetic resistance.
No, it was actually Jack Cover. It was a NASA guy. He developed the taser, and he was naming it after a book featuring his childhood hero, Tom Swift. And the book was Tom Swift and His Electric Rifle.
Huh. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So
what is it? It shoots electric impulses through your body and
yeah.
locks them up?
So there's, like, your body is fairly impermeable to, like, DC or, like, constant current. So a taser is between something like, I think it was like 10 hertz and 40 hertz, which is like 10 times a second or 40 times a second. Usually, I think the ones I saw are like 19 times a second, and it hits you with a little jolt. So the jolt is enough to get into your muscles, and then it makes it so that your muscles are so stiff that you can't do anything with them. The key is that
It just locks them all.
if you get higher in the hertz and higher in the power, it can actually get to your heart, and then it can stop your heart.
Ooh. Oh, I didn't know that.
So they said if you're going to tase somebody, make sure no one else is tasing them too.
Why is that compound?
Yeah, it adds to the power that's being produced.
Interesting.
And it could be like offset, so you could be like double the rate, I guess. Like the most awful.
Yeah.
I got tased by 6 people. It's like he died on the spot.
He died doing what he loved. Running from people with tasers.
So that made me jump into different types of, like, there's an image of like a person getting tased is usually like they're rigid and then they flop. They kind of like hit the ground. They have no control of their own body. I saw a picture of a guy with tetanus. Apparently tetanus affects your nerves in the same way, that it makes it so that your muscles are rapidly being triggered, so they're always taut. They're always stiff.
Isn't that flaccid versus the other one?
Flaccid versus rigid? Flaccid versus
I didn't think it was the word rigid. I came across it when I was doing
strong,
paralysis
hard,
research.
pulsating.
Yeah.
What happened to the gift I gave you? That better be it.
Which one?
The chocolate penis?
It's still up there.
Oh. You forgot to use it for that
Why?
last episode. You said
Why
flaccid. Whenever someone says flaccid, I always think penis.
Okay. See, I wasn't going there. I'm an adult. I'm a mature, responsible adult. I'm wearing my adult shirt.
Use flaccid with another noun then.
I shaved tonight. I have a new razor. Love it. Got a little neck action. We're getting ready for the beach.
Wow,
you know?
Yep, okay.
Right to here.
Accept my challenge. Use flaccid with another noun.
All right. Your argument is very flaccid. It falls flat. It's weak. It's flimsy. Okay. And I am thinking of dicks.
Yeah, you're constantly.
I'll tell you the truth. Yeah. But
yeah. So tetanus is something that like the people are like
Lockjaw.
rigid, like honestly, like cannot.
Tetanus gives you lockjaw, right?
Yeah, you can't release your
that
jaw.
makes sense.
It's a crazy, crazy thing.
I got a tetanus shot a few weeks ago. I should be good.
You're good. You're covered. And tetanus is like everywhere. It's ridiculous. Like eating soil can give you tetanus.
Really?
Yeah. Don't eat soil. Don't try to rip some plants out. And...
I mean,
so why you got, sir? Were you mowing the lawn deeply?
Sir, you need a tetanus shot.
So that's like a form of temporary paralysis. Same thing with like deer in headlights. Like you literally can't move because you're so scared. It's like the fight.
Is that ever happening?
Fight, flight, or freeze. It happens in my dreams a lot, where like a monster's coming after you, and you're like, and then.
Do you know why? And this relates to sleep paralysis. They're tied together.
The nightmare.
Yeah, the nightmare.
The demon that comes at night. The mare.
The mare. The horse.
Mm-hmm.
Already off the rails. Good Lord, it's early. So.
Whew. Okay, I had to swallow my wine.
Swallow that wine. Swallow that filthy wine.
Yeah. So the mare.
The nightmare. The nightmare. It's called a nightmare because that's when you were visited by the nightmare. the bringer of bad luck and
Mm-hmm.
charm and chaos and scary things.
Yeah, I used to sit on your chest and just weigh you down so that you couldn't move.
And then who knows what do scary things to you. That's the best part about the whole thing. Like, nothing ever happens to you in nightmares, do it? Like, it's not like you survive being eaten alive and feel pain. It's not like, isn't the old saying you don't really die in your dream? Like, someone shoots you and you wake up?
I have.
Have you? What the hell happens after you die in your dream?
I was in a nuclear explosion that ripped my body in half, and I looked down and I could feel my innards were gone, and the outsides of my torso were there being stretched apart. That's how
But you could feel it?
I could feel the sides, like my sides were stretching apart. Then. I guess it's not like I die. Like, there's nothing happens when you die, Nick. It's like
nothing.
You don't go anywhere, Nick. I don't know what you're trying to get at.
Black void. Because I suffered from sleep paralysis for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, but it's tied into the nightmare thing because it didn't take me long to figure out. So sleep paralysis, where you wake up and your eyes shoot open and you're wide awake. Like, all of a sudden you're just awake.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you have a feeling that something's in the room with you, or something's happening, or it's like kind of like that nightmare feeling, like someone's coming for you, something's happening. There's a real loud ringing in your ears. So you feel like the door is slowly opening.
Oh,
and like one of your the times,
uncle,
the door,
the nightman,
cometh. No, but like the coolest one, the first one that happened to me was the door opened slowly. So like it was getting more and more light in the room. But it went on for like 5 minutes, and the door was never actually opening. It just kept feeling like it was opening, like that slow. But it went on so long, I was like, this isn't real. And you try and move, like your body, your head, your arms, your hands. You can't move any part of your body. Like not even your pinky. I noticed. But no matter how hard you try, your body will not move. And that starts making you freak out more. So you're like, your eyes can move, but no, you can't move your muscles, and you keep thinking something's happening to you. And then after like, I want to say 2 minutes, 3 minutes, a minute and a half, 40 seconds, all of a sudden you can move again, and like your heart rate is going crazy through the roof, and it's hard to go back to sleep because you don't know if you just had a nightmare, a wake-mare, aliens abducted you, like you have no idea. But it occurred to me during nightmares, as a kid, I used to get nightmares a lot, and scary shit would happen.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel a dream turning into a nightmare. Like, it starts getting drawn out, like it gets darker. I can tell that it's a nightmare. And once I know a dream's a nightmare, I can usually either wake myself up or like push it to the extreme. Like, I could be like, oh, really?
You test
real? Yeah, let's see this, tough guy.
Pop the
and then
bubble.
you're like, yeah. But you can also do that with sleep paralysis. So if you wake up and you know you have sleep paralysis, do you know what you do?
Get an erection.
Close. Actually, really close, dude. You try and do weightlifting moves. Like you're like you try your hardest and like do it in a goofy way, and eventually like it goes away because it feeds off of you being afraid. I think because it's the same
parasympathetic nervous system.
Thank you, parasympathetic nervous, and that's what keeps your body from flopping around while you're sleeping and dreaming. Because otherwise, you'd be like this.
So yeah.
So your body shuts it down, right? You got the stats on this?
I don't have stats, but there's two systems.
Okay.
There's a system that activates you, and there's a system that deactivates you. So the sympathetic is the opposite of the parasympathetic. The parasympathetic fuck that up. The parasympathetic is the one that deactivates you. So when the parasympathetic overrides everything and just like goes full bore, you can't do anything.
Shut down.
Yep.
It's to keep you safe, technically.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Or keep you asleep. Does that make sense? I don't know.
There's supposed to be like a nice fine balance between the two.
But is that what takes over when you get put under anesthesia? Because your parasympathetic is still going? Or is that a whole different thing?
So I've had surgery once where I've had anesthesia on my lower body. And
I think anesthesia is where you're all the way out. I think the other one's called a twilight or something.
No, it's a nerve block. So they do anesthesia.
Oh, yeah, nerve block. Okay.
You can be general anesthetic is where you get knocked out and you're asleep. Mm-hmm. And then there's like a nerve block, which is like a spinal, where they tap into one of your spinal, like one area of your spinal cord, and then they make it so you can't feel below a certain point.
Okay.
So I've had that one. I had something on my tailbone they need to remove.
Ooh, shave it? You have a tail? Yeah.
So,
yeah, get a little tail, aren't
little
you?
tail.
Yeah,
Oh.
wiggles.
Women love puppies. So they cut me open, so I didn't feel a damn thing. But when I woke up, I couldn't feel my lower body, which wasn't terrible, but you realize how...
You would have felt pain, but how...
Yeah, I would have felt pain, but also you forget how heavy your body is.
Interesting.
Like your legs are, I think, like 2/3 of the weight of your body.
Really? That sounds fake.
I'm going to say... Whoa.
Your skeleton's most of it, so let's think of how heavy those bones are.
I don't think your skeleton is that heavy. Is your skeleton that heavy?
Yeah, I think your skeleton makes up like most of your weight. That and the liquid, which I guess is blood and stuff. Maybe not. I don't know. Now we're gonna have a big old argument. Anyway, what I did notice is that the same feature that controls you in nightmares is kind of what happens in sleep.
Oh, I was right on. For a 150-pound average human being, a little better, a little above average. A single leg weighs 26 pounds. So 52 pounds of a 150-pound person, a third of them is leg weight.
So the opposite of 2/3.
Did I see 2/3?
You did.
Oh, shit.
Let's rewind the goddamn tape, folks. Folks, I'm here to tell you.
Okay, a third of your body. That doesn't make sense. This stat's wrong. This stat is wrong.
This stat totally would have been the best call ever if you were 100% on. I don't care. Let's move on.
They're like 40%. Your trunk is 43%.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
So some portion of your leg and trunk is 60-something percent.
Some portion of your body is some portion of your percentage of your weight. I agree.
I love this. The table is it has head, trunk, total arm, total leg. It says the percent and then the quantity. 1 head, 1 trunk, 2 arm, 2 leg.
Nice. What a beautiful way to go.
Yeah. So I was laying in the bed, and the key for them letting you go home is that you have to be able to control your piss.
And
you don't necessarily need to stand up. You just need to be able to piss. I don't remember pooping. So, like, it feels weird to try to like move around when your legs are
when you don't
numb.
feel them at all.
Yeah, because you have to literally like struggle to lift up a leg because it weighs that much.
That would make sense. It does, because I mean it's weird enough when you're friggin' half of your mouth is numb. You're like, oh, I can't tell what's going on. That's just like your mouth. Like half of your body, the part that you use for mobility, like that's wild.
Here's a small personal story. So the only reason I got out of there was because I was sitting there for like 3 hours, and I was like, I'm just getting tired of this. 3 days. Hours. And
3 days.
So like they kept testing me to see if I could go, and my dad was there, and he was getting tired of it too. So in order to make
in the cup for you.
No, that would have been cheating.
Oh, look, he peed. Y'all missed.
He started cracking jokes, and he made me laugh. So when I laughed, I was able to squirt some out, and then they counted that, and we went on our way.
I don't know where to. I don't even know.
Digest that, Nick.
That shouldn't count. You didn't voluntarily pee. That is literally not. I guess it's not a voluntary piss. It's to make sure that they didn't mess up like something inside of you. You can piss.
We've rearranged your organs, and now you no longer have a colon.
Dear. Oh dear!
You're gonna have to poop out of another orifice.
It's coming out his butt. Oh boy, this is bad.
oh no! There's pee coming out of his butthole and poop coming out of his wiener. It's like, oh god.
Oh, we shouldn't have had chimichangas.
Oh man. Oh, it's like you need a laxative every day of your life in that case.
Where would you orgasm out of your butt at that point?
Let's make a baby, and it's like, beep, beep, you're backing it up.
Back that train up.
Yeah. Whew. There's a word for that, but I don't want to. I'm sure Nick knows it.
I might. I'm not sure. So let's go to paralysis now that we've covered all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Let's get into the dark, the dirty dark. the darkness.
Where do you want to go with the darkness? Bring
Um.
on the darkness.
Oh, what brings on paralysis? I had some percentages.
Oh, I didn't get a breakdown actually.
I did. 30% stroke.
Okay.
23% spinal injury.
Like physical
7
physical injury.
to the back, not just like any other part.
Yeah.
And 17% multiple sclerosis.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty high one.
Yeah.
And then the rest is broken up over cerebral palsy, post polio, which to my mind is probably just polio. They just have to call it something else because the disease doesn't call us the. Yeah.
Interesting.
Brain injury, neurofibromatosis, and birth defects. Kind of made up the rest of the field. So
that's an interesting mix.
Yeah.
So the physical ones, I feel like you would know, like football players. I know there's a football player who got hit so hard directly in the back that he was unable to walk. But I don't know.
Free. He retired.
Free?
Yeah, and I could be wrong. Look it up. He's a linebacker for the Steelers. Or is that the dude who retired at like age 25?
Steelers football paralyzed. Ryan Shazier.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of someone else. I'm thinking of the guy who World Be Free or whatever his name is, who retired from football at like 25 because he didn't want brain damage. That guy, he got destroyed, and yeah, I don't remember what team he was.
That he was on the Steelers.
Was he Steeler as well? Okay, I didn't remember. You just want to watch the injury?
Yeah, I can't show it, but
yeah, I think the NFL's cool with sharing clips.
Yeah, this is on. He didn't even get. So that's a bizarre thing when it happens to somebody,
you don't have to get hit that hard.
Yeah, he was just done. Like he just kind of fell down.
Happens in the wrong spot.
Yeah, people are fragile.
Hell, once you're over 30, you be reaching for a bagel, folks, and all of a sudden you twist your back and you're out of work for 6 months.
Yeah, that was not that bad. I mean, it ended up being awful.
My aunt has a shoulder condition where it can pop out of socket or whatever. And they're like, eventually you have to get surgery on this. Well, she was reaching for a picture frame or something. Reached for it, and it came out, and she's like, "Oh shit!" So she had to go to the ER. They couldn't get it back in, because they were trying to do it while she was awake, just to give her some shots and put it in. They couldn't get it in, so and now it's been like 2 hours, so everything's like weird and out of place.
Yeah,
they had to like put her under and like get it in.
Yeah.
Anyway, they just they're gonna do an MRI. They have to do a shoulder replacement. I never even heard of that.
So this is recent.
Yeah, this is like today. I heard.
Holy crap.
Yeah. But like that's wild, and all because she was reaching for a picture frame. I mean, this shit can happen to you any day, a little bit.
I wish you were a writer for like obituaries and like you were honest about it, like how someone died.
Reaching for a picture frame.
Yeah, like a lot of the times it's like, there's the obligatory stuff you put in an obituary, but you don't like how do they actually die. It's like he was trying to cross the street, but then got distracted by a fly, and when he swatted the fly, a car hit him. It's like, oh, like I figured that's how it would go. Like it's always kind of curious to me, but I don't know if that's medical record. I think we covered this a little bit, that like your medical record doesn't really continue on past your death after a certain point unless it affects other things. If that's clear enough.
Yeah, but not kind of what you're talking about. But kind of what you're talking about.
I'm just curious because I don't think people talk about how people die very often.
Was texting back, "No, LOL. He pooped this morning while driving."
Yeah.
about their 3-year-old tragically hit at a stop sign. Like
that should be a law. Like if you cause an accident while texting, like you have to share the dialogue of the text. And
just the text,
just the single.
It would almost be out of context.
LOL. It's a context.
There'd be so many LOL murders.
Killed by LOL. Right. LOL. Yeah. That'd be the person's face and just like LOL deceased. LOL deceased. Oh God.
Shit. That's dark.
Yeah, that is dark. But it gets the message across. Don't text while drive, folks.
Don't text and drive.
Listen to a podcast because that's hands free. Brought to you by the
Unless
Unpanders.
you're so excited by the podcast, you just have to put your hand somewhere.
ROFL of the car.
MFWLTTU.
I don't know. Is that an actual word?
Masturbating furiously while listening to the Unpanders. Just saying.
Where were we? Oh, I do have like the levels of your spinal cord. So there's cervical, which is the neck area, thoracic, which is around the chest, the lumbar, which is the lower back, and then the sacral or the sacrum, which is like sacral.
Oh, I have no idea. I just always pronounce it sacral.
Like mackerel.
Yeah, kind of. What the hell is this guy talking about? Oh yeah, exactly.
Plus, you could think like sacral is like kind of like near your butt or your sack. Yeah. So sacral.
That's why I think it's sacral.
So that doesn't really mean very much to most of us. There are several discs in each one. I forget the word.
Do they break it down evenly? I'm just curious. My mom had not herniated. I think it's actually a broken disc. She had to have back surgery when I was like 7 or 8.
So this is the number of vertebrae that you have in each area. Cervical is 7, thoracic is 12, lumbar is 5, and then sacrum is 5. And we actually have fewer than most other mammals. Other mammals have
that's
more.
Weird. I thought it was gonna be like 70 vertebrae. So how many do we have? 10, 7, and
19, 24. It's like 29.
29. Wow.
So
that's why they're all numbered like C7. Oh, I have a bad C7. I'm always like, oh my god, I have C7. Someone's like, oh, my L5 is down. And I'm like, oh my god, your L5? But C7. Holy shit, dude! I just figured it out tonight.
What?
Cervix? The 7th one in the cervix?
The cervical. Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah. That's C7, T2, L5, S, whatever.
No kidding.
That's how they call it out.
Yeah. I really had no idea. People say that stuff and I ignore them or pretend to know what they're talking about, but now I know.
Every movie you see. Yeah. Or when they fuse them together, like Tiger Woods.
Yeah, why do they do that? Like, what's the benefit? I can't.
It's either damaged or like the disc is so worn out that when you fuse it together, it makes it like it's one vertebrae. So you don't have the rubbing anymore.
So you lose a little bit of mobility, but at the cost of there's no more rubbing.
Exactly.
Okay.
No further irritation or damage.
Makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense to me. And Tiger had.
I don't know which. Let me look that up. Actually, I'm kind of curious.
Actually, that is interesting. Now, I just want to know.
Now that we're talking about it.
I agree with this guy. I don't want a back injury. I don't think I've had a back injury ever.
L5S1 spinal fusion.
Oh damn! He had an L5S1.
So let's put some context on these numbers.
That's the bottom.
Yeah.
So they go 1 to 5 down. So and then 1 of the S region, sacral.
Yeah. So here's each level and the motor motor function.
Motor funger. Why would you say that? We're doing a podcast.
I don't know what words I was combining there.
Fungus?
Funger.
Fungus among us.
The motor function associated with the level. And I guess how you would deal with this, like how you feel like you would be affected by this. So L5 through S2, that affects the extension of the leg of the hip near your butt and flexion of the foot and flexion of the toes. Which, that's the lowest, that's the bottommost rung vertebrae. It sounds like you wouldn't be able to do very much. You would no longer be able to play sports.
Yeah.
Running would be difficult, probably.
Walking might be
difficult. So, like, at the very, very minimum, like, in my opinion, you're kind of fucked at that point.
You gonna bring us good news? What's the next level?
No, it gets worse as you go up higher.
Damn,
So, L4 through S1, you can, the function is abduct the thigh, which means you move your thigh, flex leg, knee, and then foot and toes extension. So like the different types of like pronate, supinate, which is the different
dorsal flexion.
Yeah, it's like
My dirt bike incident.
The what?
Dorsal flexion. My dirt bike incident.
Oh yeah, can you do that? Is that ruined forever?
It really hurts really bad, but I think it's just a chipped bone or something.
Yeah, that probably won't heal over time. It'll be okay though.
I actually think it will.
Maybe. You're young. Ish.
I don't know. I'm starting to not be. Anyway, go ahead.
That's just gonna start to happen now, and it's just gonna be who you are.
On a monthly basis.
How do I fix this, doctor? That's just who you are now.
You better get a new body.
Yeah. Okay, L2 to L4. Again, that's thigh movement, leg extension, knee. L1 to 4, flexing of hip joint. Going up to T7 to L1, abdominal muscles. So like, your core.
Yeah. I know.
T1 to T6, intercostals. That's the area between your ribs and the trunk above the waist. So
what do I voluntarily move there?
I think breathing might be slightly affected, or if you're like extending backwards, like stretching and standing upright, kind of makes you move your ribs.
That makes sense a little bit.
Yeah, C7, C8. So this gets weird. So like, if I didn't have any leg function, I think I'd be okay with life. I think it would be bad, but I could still do things with my hands, so I'd be able to express myself and talk and do all sorts of things that are, could spend my time doing. Playing video games and watching movies and maybe not getting around too much, but I think I'd be able to cope. I'd be able to cope.
Erection?
I don't know about erections. That probably falls...
I'm not based on that.
I'll have to search paralysis of the penis.
No, that sounds terrible. I feel like it's not going to give you Google is not going to give you...
Just click on images here, and that's inflatable penises. They have those.
I don't want an inflatable wiener.
Holy crap. There's a penis that looks like it's a child's maze cartoon thing. Like it zigzags and then comes back around. It's like, find the exit.
No way. It's a real penis?
Yeah. Hold on a second. There's more penises here.
We better give this guy 5 minutes. A couple Kleenex.
Hold on a second. What is... Fill the void, Nick.
When has science gone too far? When my partner needs me to fill the void because he's digging in deep with peni. Is it peni when it's more than one? What do they call them at the parties you go to late at night? Peni, right?
Yes.
There's more than one.
Sausage fest.
What I want to know is like, you're like squinting, you're moving in, you're getting.
So they had like
telling me to stall. I don't know what.
So they were like horse penises on that page for some reason when you type in paralysis of the penis. And apparently paraphimosis is a urological emergency in which the retracted foreskin of an uncircumcised male cannot be returned to its normal anatomic position.
Wow, so your foreskin gets stuck, like
it just
flips inside out?
I don't know how does it not return?
I'm trying to picture the foreskin. Is it out of place? Is it out of whack?
It's like it gets caught, like at the base.
On itself?
Yeah.
Oh.
It gets twisted.
Right.
Gets stuck in your zipper. One of our mutual friends had a poem in the middle of like 7th grade class. It said something like, I once liked a dolphin named Flipper, and I hate it when my PB gets stuck in my zipper. He said that to the whole class.
Good.
Yeah. As a seventh grader?
That's pretty good, especially because he liked to dock, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
The penis joke.
Commando.
Maybe a name joke.
Commando's a dangerous thing. Anyway, back to spinal cord injuries. Enough penis. Nick's afraid of the penis. Let me see. Where were we? C7, C8, flex wrist, muscles of the hand. C6, C7, elbow, wrist, more wrist stuff. C6, rotate the arm. C5, 6, remove shoulder, raise arm, flex elbow. So right then and there, I think if I had like a C anything injury, that would be terrible. Like you wouldn't be able to do anything with your arms. That's a neck injury. So like, how would you cope? Do you think you'd cope? What would you do?
I'd learn to paint with my toes or my tongue.
You can't. You'd have to use your mouth or something.
Oh, the C2 doesn't affect your legs, does it?
So we haven't gone all the way up there. So there's like C3 through 5 can affect your diaphragm, which means breathing is more difficult or impossible.
Big a deal, I don't think.
Yeah, and then up all the way is for neck. So you can't move your neck, which sounds pretty terrible. That's horrific. You'd be okay someone to feed you alcohol? The little straw.
And did a podcast?
Water, alcohol, microphone.
I'd be good with that.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to turn on the phantom power, though.
No, you're hitting the instrument. That's the instrument, red light. The other one, idiot.
Yeah, can't hear you.
All of these things sound pretty terrible. I wanted to move away from spinal cord injuries.
No. There's
How much time can you spend on spinal injuries?
a lot, actually.
I mean, everyone listening has to go home at some point.
Yeah, they're already home.
They pull in their driveway. Well, what if they're driving in their driveway?
They pull in the garage.
Oh,
they might lose reception in the garage. They're like waiting outside. Their wife doesn't know. The car's running.
Go in the garage. Lower the door, but don't tell anyone. Open your windows. You got to be able to breathe. And just listen to the rest of this podcast.
That's a terrible idea. Don't kill yourself in the fumes.
Oh my God, I forgot. Oh, please don't. I hope they were listening. Anyway.
Wow. I wonder which one it takes to make it so you can't talk anymore. What do I have to break on you? You probably have a hard time with the one with the diaphragm. So I could shoot for the C5. You probably would have a hard time speaking. So
you could try.
So this really, it came about because I was listening to a story about, I read a story, ALS, Tuesdays with Maury, like slowly losing your function.
ALS, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah. Well, you lose the ability to control yourself. So that's what really paralysis is about.
Oh, it kind of is. That's what literally we're going to end up at the end of this episode.
And
Lou Gehrig's disease.
I'm sure it'll add something. But there's also a guillain-barre, or guillain-barre, however you want to say it. If you're French, I guess you say it that way. The founder of Burton Snowboards, Jake Carpenter, actually had this happen to him. That he went in for surgery.
I didn't come across this. Go ahead.
He went in for surgery, and he started having vision problems. And it was literally within like a day or two. Like the second day, he was like, "This isn't right." So he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "We're going to test you." And it turns out that he had this Guillain-Barre syndrome, and it's like a temporary paralysis. So you actually lose the function in your legs and arms, and you can't move, you can't breathe. So they put you in a hospital bed, have you on a ventilator, and you lose the ability to see. You can't eat, and everything's controlled for you.
That's wild. But it's temporary? How does it...
It's temporary. So it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for your body to kind of get rid of that and regenerate. So it slowly comes back to you. He said he could hear everything around him, but he couldn't respond. So he was sitting in the bed for like 6 weeks where he could feel his wife like massaging him, but he couldn't do anything about it. And his wife was just there by his side, and that's it. Like,
he thinks it was his wife.
He could hear her voice. He couldn't see.
It was her voice.
I'm pretty sure he was conscious. Are you trying to say he's got a mistress? Is that what you're trying to say, Nick?
No, I was just being a jerk. But like, regardless, that's the wildest thing in the world. Like, that's like being in the bad place and Get Out, or like they do this in a lot of movies, or like tropes where you can feel pain, you can feel everything, but you can't talk, you can't move, you're paralyzed. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a real disease, because who would have thought that he would ever come back from that and be able to
and then
be
come
a
back
normal
in
human
like 6
being?
weeks and be normal? It's like, what happened to you?
I mean, there is some sort of therapy that goes along with it so you can regain all the functions, but he's
Of course.
relatively normal.
Damn, I didn't write it down.
What, Metallica's One?
Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding.
Were you in that class where we talked? That was the morality or something?
No, who'd you have? Was it Leahy or whatever?
No, that was.
I said his name.
That was Pumpkinhead. I forget his real name though.
Oh, I didn't have Pumpkinhead.
That's
I know
sad.
exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know it is. So you don't care about the teacher enough to remember his real name. He was just Pumpkinhead.
No. I didn't have him.
I did, and I don't remember his name. But that was one of the things about euthanasia is that there's somebody that was inside their own body that is still alive, but they're unable to communicate with the outside world or do anything. So if they're just on pause,
vegetable.
No, he could still think. He could replay memories from his own mind, but he couldn't. He's never going to get better. Do you keep that person alive, or do you allow them to euthanize him?
Oh, you take him out back of a Denny's and see what
Grand slam right down his gullet.
That's not where I thought you were going to go. Well, I'll play.
Give you the grand slam.
Putney? Paroni?
Something like that. Whatever.
Yeah, I know. Anyway.
What do you do?
Well, I say if they want to go, go. If there's no way to see, like they can't give me a yes, no in any way, shape, or form. No, can they? I mean, this is a real question. Can they give me a yes
I forget
or no?
if there was like Morse code involved. I think it was based on a real person, based on a movie, based on a song, as my knowledge. So I think he was able to like Morse code it via tapping or something with his maybe blinking, twitching, I don't know.
Yeah, then I ask him if he's like, yeah, I'm like, let's do it.
But if not,
I don't know.
Just do it till the money runs out. What do you do? Tell us, Nick. What do you do?
Is that covered under insurance?
I'm sure for a certain period of time.
For like a week.
If you could technically keep someone alive indefinitely, do you?
Could you do that with just about anyone?
I don't know. I'm going to search for the longest person kept alive on life support.
By artificial means? Yeah, what if it was someone born as a baby who needed life support and we kept them alive for like 40 years? How funny would that be? Is that possible? I don't think that's possible.
This is Terry Schiavo.
Yeah, she was.
Sadness. Pure sadness.
Something Awful forums did a whole Terry Schiavo themed Photoshop Friday one time.
Like, how did they?
They had to Photoshop her doing fun things.
Oh man, that's terrible.
Oh, it was very terrible. I didn't make any of them, so when you talk about other people doing bad things, like that's them. Oh, it's terrible.
So I think she was on life support for like 10 years.
Yeah, could be.
Something like that.
She was a hot button issue.
Yeah, it was huge. I want to see how long. Or just give me the dates. Give me some deets.
2001? I have no idea.
This is Right to Die. It says from 1990 to 2005. So maybe she's 26, cardiac arrest, St. Petersburg, Florida. She was resuscitated but had brain damage.
Shit.
So literally kept alive for 15 years while people argued over what to do about her. Brutal. Let's bring it back to the happy place on the Unpanders.
The only thing I will say is that when that happens, time passes totally differently. It's not like she's like hanging out, like looking at her clock every 5 seconds. Like, is it closing time yet?
How crazy would you get if you could think? Like, how soon would it be until you were like insane? I don't think it would be that long. It's like people being in like anechoic chambers where they can't hear anything. They have no input. They think they're in there for like weeks and they've only been in there for like hours.
Seriously?
Yeah, people lose it. You've seen that Vsauce where he's inside that little room.
Yeah, he's in the whatchamacallit. Oh, he's in it for like 3 days and he thinks he's in there for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, because they have no sense of time. They don't have anything to do.
Well, let's bring it back to paralysis.
Yeah. Do you know anybody who's paralyzed? I knew one person.
Which definition? Just can't walk.
What are the levels? Quadriplegic, and then tetraplegic.
Tetraplegic, and then there's
paraplegic.
Para.
Okay, I think we're going from worst to best case ish. I think, and then I don't know what's before that. Partyplegic. That's
disabilities.
Yeah, so I knew
disability stats, dude.
I knew one person, and this is a warning to anybody out there. Don't dive into the ocean or shallow water that you don't know the distance of, the depth.
Damn, what did they do? Break their neck?
Yeah, he landed on a sandbar when he was trying to dive into the ocean. They pulled him out, and he had broken his neck. So he was like 20 years old.
How did he live? That's wild.
Because people were there ready to dive in the ocean with him, I guess.
What? Oh, this dude hasn't been up in like 10 minutes.
I think
it's
not.
Time.
I mean, I think the sandbar was like only like a foot under the water or something ridiculous.
Oh, so his body was sticking out?
Yeah, so it was like
face down in the water, and they were like, let's get this guy.
If anybody's nearby. So this is the scary part, is I was listening to a story about how people live in Hawaii, and the person said they're more friendly there because there's less people. It was like, if you get injured and there's only like 2 people around, people are going to come to your aid because it's like, oh no, I know this person, like I'm in their vicinity. But if there's like 100 people and somebody gets injured, everyone else is like, well, are you going to take care of it?
Not my job.
Yeah.
Still not my job. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They're just like all watching and pulling out their
Someone
phones.
else will do it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're waiting for something else because they assume.
Snapchat this. Oh my god, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This person like died.
So in this instance, I think one of his friends was nearby to call attention and pull him out. But he lived, and the life he lived was just kind of sad after that point. He just had to like retrofit his entire house with like all sorts of disability stuff, ramps, and etc.
Is it called a Jazzy?
Jazzy scooter? Your Jazzy scooter.
Yeah. What's the We used to visit my neighbor. She lived 3 doors away, and she had a chair that went from the first floor to the second floor.
Yeah. I always liked those when I was little.
And I was like, oh, please do it, 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 please do it. Oh my god, please do it. As a kid, I was probably like, oh, this is the only reason I'm visiting you. Please do it, please do it.
Like, can I sit on your chair?
This is my prison where I have to go to the second floor because my body does no longer work. And I was probably like, please.
As a what, 8-year-old?
No, like 5.
5. That's a little better. If you like forgot something on the first floor, you constantly.
Please do it, please do it, please do it. Oh, shit.
Don't you need something on the second floor, man? You left your scarf up there. Are you cold?
You threw it up there. Yeah, go get it. Take your little chair.
Marjorie Stewart Baxter. That's the voice you're using. Hubert Cumberdale.
There's one more name. If you get it right.
Oh, man.
Marjorie Stewart Baxter. And there's a third name.
Oh, crap. What is it?
It's like he hates his name. I feel like he's mean to that one.
Oh, crap. What is the third one? This is salad fingers for people who didn't have the internet back then.
Salad fingers. Oh, my God. I feel like when the internet was wild. If you just type those 2 names in, the third one will pop up, I'm sure of it. Hubert Cumberdale.
Hubert Cumberdale.
Marjorie Stewart Baxter.
Oh,
damn it! I'm gonna get it before he finds it.
Is there a third one?
Yeah, there definitely is, because there's 3, and like the second and third episode's like a big deal. I'll find it if you can't. But
I feel like that needs to be something that is on a shirt. Like, you design your own shirt. Have like just the 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that are actually named Marjorie Stewart Baxter.
Is there?
Yeah.
Did you type in with Hubert Cumberdale? There's no way that third one didn't show up.
It didn't show up. I'm telling you right now.
I'm gonna look it up. You better hang in the dead air, right?
So Salad Fingers, Jeremy Fisher. That's the normal name.
Damn it, you got it. Yeah, Jeremy Fisher.
But he says it weird.
Jeremy Fisher.
Something about...
He says it disdainfully.
Yeah. Salad
I
fingers.
don't know why.
Look it up on the internet. It's creepy. It's the creepiest thing because of the way it's done and the way he talks. Like, he says...
And the music. There's a weird music. There's
the way he, like, pokes his finger. The red stuff comes out.
Oh, yeah. He cooks a kid in his oven by accident. There's some wild stuff. Like, all of a sudden he looks at a bird and the bird is like normal, and then a second later it's going, and then it goes back to normal, and you're like,
holy crap!
What did I just? See that? Anyway, David Firth. I wonder what happened to him.
Is that the guy who made it?
Yeah. He made Fat Pie or something. I think that was his company. You
Hot
should
Pie?
look him up now. I want to know. Fat Pie. I think it was a company he made. Like an LLC for the salad fingers type umbrella. He made a whole bunch of stuff. Now, whether he stopped making stuff or not, I have no idea. Maybe
he's
went
still
insane.
making stuff.
Like salad finger stuff? Or like salad fingers episode 40?
Stuff.
I mean, whatever. I mean, you're a content creator. You're probably a content creator for life.
Oh, there's a Patreon page of this guy.
Hell yeah, dude.
See how much he's making. I love the internet. Discover things you never knew were...
Wait, you can tell how much someone's making?
1 second.
If someone looks at our Patreon, or they're like, oh
my God, I try to hide that because we need some support, honestly.
Like, for big, heavy ball sacks?
Yeah. How did he keep it hidden?
I love how this is an episode.
Paralysis.
This is our worst episode.
It's weird because the salad fingers, he has salad fingers front and center. There's a series of like 10 episodes.
I was going to say, I pictured it went to 10.
It doesn't say how much.
I think you're looking at a dated website, dude. I think you're looking at a website that hasn't been updated in like 5 years.
I'm pretty sure this is like relatively new.
Really?
YouTube update May 9th, 2018.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough. What's funny is that our age, with our use of the internet, like, we are different than any other generation in our internet usage, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this sounds stupid, but we had more internet than the people before us, and probably...
This guy has
I think we're like peak
1,600 patrons.
Damn.
So he's making at least that per month.
Go off, King. Well,
shit. Anyway.
Moving on. Paralysis.
How do nerves work?
Sure. How do nerves work?
So, central nervous system versus peripheral. Apparently, your central does not regenerate. Your peripheral can, because there's different cells. Temporary immaturity is what brings back your other cells. Dorsal root ganglions, type of neuron, and then Schwann cells.
Oh my god.
Yep. And this is one of the things that... What?
That's it? For real?
That's pretty much all I care about. Yeah. There might be more to it. It's more about having what it's called an action potential that rides your nerves, and there's different types of nerves. They're in different sheaths, different myelin layers. They're called meninges, and those different pathways allow you to control your body through electrical impulses that allow for other chemical impulses, and then allow you to move your muscles.
I was about to say all that.
Ion gates, yep. So one of the cool things is, like, if you've ever seen like an ion gate is like this way of making something happen in your body, and it's
electrical impulses.
It's so like electrical impulses can actually like conduct these like ions. So like you have like a potassium ion. It
positive
actually gets near these gates, and they look like traffic cones. Like if you threw a bunch of traffic cones down and they're all pointed at each other and they're like layered up, like when a potassium ion like comes by, it like opens up these like traffic cones, and then it can start pumping things in, and it triggers like more to pump, and then it just flows down your nerve. If that makes any sense at all, thank goodness.
Well, this happens in cells a lot too.
Yeah.
cell walls.
It's the same sort of pumping
I totally
action.
Get it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so this conducts along your nerves, and that's how you move your muscles, essentially. We did this for, like, they do it for earthworms.
Biology?
Yeah, for electrophysiology.
Oh, sorry, I thought I got a text. It wasn't.
Yeah, so you can trigger this by stimulating it most of the time. So, like, you can make an earthworm move by hitting it with electricity. It's just the varied incremental electricity might not produce what you're looking for.
This is a real question. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
What if I shot an earthworm with a taser that we use on full-grown adults?
I hope it would explode.
Oh my god, that would be so cool. I'm really sorry.
We can do this, but is it cruelty to animals? Are earthworms animals? I don't know.
I want to see what happens.
Terry Schiavo died. Did they pull the plug on Terry Schiavo?
Yeah, eventually.
Okay, then we can do this to earthworms, I feel like.
Not sure they're related, but I agree.
Yeah, okay. So that's pretty much all I had, is that you have very central and core things, nerves that are essential, and they never regrow. So the paralysis that can happen is irreversible in like a majority of cases.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes. I feel like you want to go somewhere.
Just researching this, it's like I consider myself fearless.
Okay. You went to dark places?
No, I'm just fearless. Like if someone tells me, hey, try this new drug. Yeah, cool. Someone says, hey, you ever ride a dirt bike? Yeah, I'll do it. Who cares? Someone says, hey, you ever...
fearless or an idiot?
There's a fine line. I'm not going to disagree with you. Yeah. And someone says, hey, you ever actually killed a human being and faced legal repercussions? I'm like, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Actually, there haven't been legal repercussions from that.
From what? Killing
Regardless.
Somebody? Hurting yourself?
No, killing
Oh.
someone.
Good.
I'm not supposed to talk about it on the podcast.
Just as long as you get the caustic soda, you're okay. Bones only last how many years? 50 years?
You need to send me. If I whisper, they can't hear, right?
Yeah, so you've got until you're 70-something, and then the bones will be gone. He'll be okay.
Isn't murder 5 years limitations? Statute?
I don't think that it has a statute of limitations.
Oh, no. This is terrible. I made a terrible mistake. Can we edit out this part?
I'm going to go on a lot of lists.
I think murder and rape.
No statute of limitations. Actually, I think rape does have a...
Does it? Was it 10 years? I'm not sure. U.S. different than everywhere else, but, you know.
I like how I search murder statute of limitations and it pops up immediately, and then rape is like a bunch of question marks. It's like, is this real? Does this happen?
Yeah, that's...
It's like...
a bunch of Redditors asking.
How long do I have to report? Let me see. Always bring charges against someone. You can always bring charges against someone suspected of rape, apparently.
Interesting.
Murder, rape, burglary.
Oh, but I'm not afraid of anything particular.
Okay.
Or I'm an idiot, depending on the way you phrase it. I'm actually afraid of like 4 or 5 different things. One of them's like complete paralysis. Like I don't like the idea of not being able to go anywhere physically. We'll just get up and walk somewhere or go somewhere. I think that's like...
Have you ever broken your leg's injured? I broke my leg once and it was awful. Like you're so limited that you're exhausted at the end of the day. You don't want to do anything anyway. It's like going some places. It's like almost like having children. You can't do anything. Yeah, it's work. It's a chore.
Erectile dysfunction, going wherever you want. Being like a burden on everyone. Like these are 3 things that are scary to me.
So we touched on a topic that actually feels like it shakes you to the core.
Yeah, my core is injured too.
Oh.
The There's another thing I realized. You get into wheelchair accessibility
Oh yeah.
in a lot of places, and I'm like, oh shit, who cares? And I'm like, oh shit, why not just make it for everybody?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with doing that? I'm like all for it.
Like the Iron Throne has like 6 steps, and they elected Bran the Broken to sit on the Iron Throne.
How'd you get there? I
Yeah,
don't know how you got there.
it's because they didn't have the chair. They needed somebody that already had a chair.
That's what it was. So the chair was gone.
Yeah.
They needed a
And I'm
chair
like-
that was pre-made.
Yeah.
That's quite a twist. So I screenshot this. Ready?
No, I'm not ready.
I did study. Part of my study was on cripples, which, by
Okay.
the way, you're not allowed to say cripple.
Is cripple offensive?
It is
Physically disadvantaged? What are you supposed to say?
an individual with a physical disability.
Physical disability. Okay. There's like one. It's weird how things are not PC, but you have to use the one term that is PC. So it's like like condoning the one thing. You can only use the one thing now. So physically
You have to use
disabled.
it in a certain order, right? In fact, I think people who are physically disabled are trying to take cripple back, kind of like their N-word.
Okay. They want to be called
I mean-
cripples?
No. Only they can say it.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's like rap
Sorry,
songs.
I was trying to. Yeah. It's
You're
like,
allowed to
if
say it.
You say it. You can't say it because you're not.
You're allowed to joke about yourself.
Correct.
So
Like, it would be like if I called you fat. I can't anymore. I'm not in the club.
Oh boy.
Anyway, moving on. So the funniest thing in the world to me was when I was doing research for this. And I looked up cripple and what the word meant and how it came to be. It was Germanic. It meant cripel or cryptal, and it meant to creep along slowly. So it originally referred to people who had problems moving a limb.
Yeah.
You can cripple a machine. You can cripple a person. You can cripple anyway.
Crippled
cripples
as a verb
in
you don't really
popular-
hear anymore.
Correct, but it's okay to use as a verb. It's the noun that's been kind of outdated. You're not
Just
supposed
make it sure it's in the right context.
Correct.
Not around other cripples.
Notable cripples in popular culture. I thought this was crazy.
Huh.
Tiny Tim. Everyone knows Tiny Tim, which I love that reference. Jamie Lannister.
It's quick to go. And
And Bran Starr.
Bran the Broken. Terrible name.
And then correct. And then Joe Swanson of Family Guy.
And then
That's a good one, I guess.
wasn't Roosevelt? He was crippled, right?
These are pop culture.
Okay.
They did have Roosevelt. I didn't screenshot this one. Roosevelt.
I think it's polio that got him.
Correct.
And somebody else?
We're getting 2 more.
Christopher Reeves.
Very famous.
Superman.
Reeves. Yes, correct.
Fell off a horse.
And broke his neck. How wild
Yeah,
is that?
that's terrible.
I think it was a C3.
Stephen Hawking.
And Stephen Hawking. Holy shit! Did you just read that off Wikipedia?
No, I don't have that list.
Bitch, that's the one.
That's exactly. I knew. I could sense it.
Either way, good call.
Yeah.
So I'm terrified of not being able to have the agency of my own body. Like, I'm afraid. The things I take for granted, like being able to walk somewhere, just get up and get a beer,
Masturbate.
go outside.
Go outside and masturbate. Yeah.
Go outside and masturbate with a beer in my other hand. Like, those are the things you take for granted. But honestly, if we didn't have those, what we're talking about is losing agency. Agency being the power over yourself, right?
Yeah. So Reddit is famously the guy with broken arms. Have you never heard of this?
Maybe. Hold on. This actually.
This
does
is
sound
the.
very familiar.
I don't want to. This is
Ruin
like
the story.
Reddit lore, where there was somebody that was confirmed that they broke both their arms, could not do anything, and could not masturbate. So they couldn't take care of themselves. So someone else in their family took care of them.
Oh my god! Wait! Whoa! This does sound really familiar.
Yes.
Which family member was it?
That is something someone else has to research.
Because I'm trying to think. I think I've heard the.
This is
heard
Greek
the story
tragedy.
of the story. Oedipus?
And Oedipus like his mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This is like old. This is like 10 years old,
yeah.
isn't it?
No, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is over 10 years old. The story, right?
I don't know the origin date.
I think it is. I think. When mom jacks me off, greater than sign. And then like a picture of a smiling turtle.
2013, someone asked about it. 2011. Man who had sexual, 2011. So maybe 8 years ago. Yeah, it comes up whenever there's mention of sort of that same scenario. It always comes up.
God damn. Would you do it for your kid?
No.
Damn, that was cool.
that's there's no way that you come out of that normal. There's no way.
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. I just thought I could catch you doing a.
But if there was like an automatic machine version, I would just be like, this is a thing. It might explain things for it. It might help you.
Weird.
Well, we went there.
We focused on paralysis.
Yeah. Inability to move, being crippled or physically disabled.
Disabilities. Ooh, the Crips.
Crip walk?
You know the Bloods? Oh, the Bloods versus the Crips?
Yeah, well, I don't know what the Crip walk
was. As such because they often walked with a cane.
Really? Why? Because they got injured in some way?
I think it was just to look cool, but either way, they were Crips. So, yesterday, this wasn't actually the day we were going to originally air this. 2 days ago?
Uh-huh.
I walked into the auto body shop up the street from me.
Uh-huh.
And they have, it's just old people. People over 70 hang out there. That's what they do. They hang out, they talk, they tell old jokes. One was the first black Marine ever. One was he's 94 and he's still driving. The other one's 91 and he's the first to do that. I don't know. I go in there and they're all laughing, having a good time. The old guys. You know what I mean? I noticed the weirdest thing. One of them's getting a hip replaced. Another guy who works at the place is getting hip replaced, and someone else has like just a problem with their foot.
Mm-hmm.
There were four walking canes in there, and I was like, "Damn! Look at all these canes in here today." And they showed off their canes, like their walking canes, and I was like, "That's cool." One had like an eagle head one. One had one that was just gold with like cool ornate stuff going on. One was like wood or looked like wood. And then I forget what the fourth one looked like. But either way, I was like, these are some badass canes, guys. Nice going.
Huh. So that...
And like there's still style.
The cane... So there's like 3 different versions that I just read. There's the one where they did have canes, which are like pimp canes.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's what...
Yeah. So they're crippled. Or it's cribs with a B. Like they're young and upcoming. They're like juveniles. But then it got understood as... Crips, or the cripplers, people who incapacitate other people. And then I think the final one was like they were cryptic, like something you didn't really know. They had no association with those things.
They were not cryptic.
They're very outspoken.
They're very outspoken.
Okay. Well, that last one seemed like bullshit.
Well, guys, disabilities affect us all.
Yep.
Whether it's something serious like paralysis, whether it's something fairly minor like, hey, I got really bad arthritis. Can't play my guitar anymore. That would suck.
Yep.
30% of families in America have someone with a member who has a severe disability.
I heard this one weird fact I want to throw in there.
Ooh, go ahead.
So, like, there are sports you can play when you're paraplegic. You can play ice hockey or like that rollerball thing. We're actually in a wheelchair. I heard a story that the human body will react to your body regardless of whether you can feel. And they were using the ability that they couldn't feel pain to incite an adrenaline rush. Yeah, so there was a story that people who were professionally doing this were breaking their own toes to get the adrenaline rush so that they could play better. Isn't that crazy?
I'd say no, but I immediately thought yeah. And then I immediately thought no.
Like it's not possible, but it sounds like maybe.
No, like
someone might.
That's a lie. And then I'm like, no, it's 100% true. And then I'm like, well, it's exaggerated. And then I'm like, it's probably spot on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's another element to this too. It's like the people who are born without the ability to feel. Like you can't feel hot or cold.
Yeah, that's why we do the podcast.
Or pain.
I'm trying to get you to feel.
Yeah. Feel emotions? I don't know what you're talking about,
exactly.
Nick.
Love?
I know what love is.
I know what love is. That's good.
That's like it's a Forrest Gump line.
Oh, I was thinking like data or something.
I was that also too, yeah. It fits in. It fits in. Mm-hmm. Well, like the people who don't have any feedback on their life, they end up like injuring themselves. Touching a hot pan or like fire or stove.
I can't feel.
Yeah. So it's like it's crucial that we have this like feedback in our own bodies to understand how our bodies work, because without it we don't understand our bodies and we can't really use them.
Good point.
You have to be mentally checking. So continue on with the thank you for following us, guys. It's been a good story. Hope
Thank you guys, honestly. I hope you got your pimp canes. I hope everyone's got some kind of plan.
Yeah.
Disability is a real thing. I mean, plan for it in your future.
Don't get stuck like a deer in headlights.
You're going to get disability at some point.
If you're going to get tased, wear a shirt. And don't run. You're going to go down like a sack of bricks.
Like a bitch.
Yeah.
Sympathetic nervous system.
Anesthesia.
Parasympathetic. Oh my God.
Central nervous system. Peripheral nervous system. Schwann cells. Dorsal root ganglion neurons. Right? Everyone knows them.
We talked about them for an hour.
Yeah. Axons. Action potentials.
Oh my God.
Electrolytes. Guillain-barre.
Getting electrocuted to death.
J. Carpenter. Burton.
We talked about how
synapses.
82% of the populace is employed. 56% of the disabled community is employed. And even less, 26% of the severely disabled community is employed. That means 74% are sitting at home. We need something for them to do. We talked about nervous system disorders. ALS, aka Lou Gehrig's disease. Epilepsy, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MS. We talked about them
so much. Yeah, in detail.
So much. Did you know pregnancy is a disability?
It is? If you can only stay pregnant.
You recognize it. Correct. I actually was pregnant for 19 years.
With ideas.
Pregnant with ideas. Folks, thank you for joining in. We have a Patreon here. We have a Patreon here. If you want a Patreon,
we have all that. We're not going to say do it. But
no, oh my God, I don't even care.
Yeah,
Patreon.
It might end the podcast if you don't.
Patreon's over here. Our Patreon's over here.
Don't look up Salad Fingers Patreon. He doesn't need any more money from a cartoon he did 10 years ago. It's probably more like 20 years ago, actually. Hubert Cumberdale. Marjorie Stewart Baxter.
Jeremy Fisher. I almost mad at him. Thanks for tuning in. Seriously. We
do like you a lot.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. Tune in next time where we talk about your moms.
Favorite thing.